It sounded like a good time.
Woo!
I wake up and then I'm going through Twitter and it's like, hey, this thing. And I'm like, oh, so I should check Slack. So I check Slack. Oh dear.
Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
That was a thing.
It was.
Miranda, I just emailed that to you. So, Branch, are you still getting to do your other story today?
No, because we don't have Matthew Bunkers.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. But we're going to get things taken care of by Monday. Just pushing everything to next week.
Sure. I do love a good procrastination.
That's right. That's what a good businessman does.
That's right.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
All right, I got it.
I am here. I am here.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself until people start showing up.
Oh, you're good. All right. And I am trying out a sound check. We're getting a sound check because Miranda needs a sound check. And she's going to listen to the sound of my beautiful voice until she tells me to stop. We go 32.3 seconds. We're going to break the record of 33.3 seconds and make it 32.9 seconds because that's how we do things here. We aim to progress each time we do the sound check. And it's going to be at 32.9 seconds instead of 33. All right. Okay. Oh, gosh. Check something out here. Are you able to switch the heel right, heel routing to the stick? Okay. It should be done. Listen. Oh, I love myself. Good things ever. Hey, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good.
Just hanging in there.
Ready for another one of these?
Yes. I'm
This
always
one's gonna
ready.
be a lot of fun.
I'm ready to go. Ready to rock and roll. How you been?
Good, very good.
Yeah. Excited it's Friday.
Yes, needed it to be Friday.
I don't know what it is about this week, but I really just needed to make it to. It's like it's only Tuesday. I need Friday.
Oh, I had the same kind of week. I don't know why either. I mean, it wasn't anything in particular. It was just
No.
a hard week, long one.
Yeah, I think people are tired.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's tiring.
Yeah.
Well, this will be an exciting week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, there's Ethan.
Hi, Jamie. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Ethan, how's it going?
It's going. Just got 35 people in my ear. You know how it goes.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
who is that?
Lauren. I just changed my name.
Oh,
So it wasn't Amelia,
Lauren.
or not Ethan Anderson's new One Media Groups.
Yeah, let me see if I can't change my name here too as well. I don't know why it still says New Center One Media Group.
Hey, Hunter.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Jamie?
I'm good.
Good.
So glad you could be part of this one.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Good.
Hunter, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. I have just showed Jamie my coffee. I'm ready to go.
I'm gonna get a little water. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Angela, do you have a video? I can. Okay, good. Oh, good.
I'm
Is there
here.
any way for you to adjust it so you're a little bit like your head, the top of your head's a little closer to the top of the screen when we're looking at you?
Yeah, let me work on that. I'm gonna turn my video off while I'm working on it, so you don't get to see fumbling.
Fair. Thank you.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Caitlin.
Hello, everyone.
Ready for an awesome one? Awesome panel.
I am. I'm ready. It's gonna be good.
And hi, Hunter. I haven't met you yet. I'm Sarah with the school district.
Hi, Sarah. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You guys did those notes you sent out are awesome. So you guys did good
Thank you.
work.
Thank
prepping.
you. Appreciate that.
Caitlin, can you also bring your video where we can get your head a little closer to the top of the screen? Please. Thank you. There we go. I think that's about perfect. So the reason why we do that, guys, is because there's going to be like graphics that will come up on the screen on the TV side that are going to show your name and where you're from. So we want to make sure that we're not like covering up your beautiful smiles. Hi, Kristen.
Hello, I just want to say good luck, guys. You guys are going to do amazing. I know you're going to do amazing. So,
Thank you, Kristen.
yeah.
Well, the encouragement. How come no one gets in this chat and encourages me that I'm gonna do a good job?
We have faith.
You all are.
Some of us might not believe what we would say in that case.
Man, tough crowd.
We'll make him cry before we start.
Okay, I'm going to run through a few things instead of roughing Brant up. Hello, everyone. My name is Ethan Anderson. I'm with New Center One over here working on the stream side and the broadcast side with our director. Going to run through some of this. Jamie will have heard this speech 1 million times by now. So we're going to go run through and do some sound checks with everyone that's going to be on today. So we'll go through and do that in just a moment. And then at roughly 10:55, 10:56, we're going to have everyone go silent because we have about a 33-second delay with all of this. So we need to be able to be clean in going into 11 o'clock when we go up. So that will be a couple of the longest minutes of your entire lives. I'm sorry about that. And then at the end of the stream, once Brant has kind of outroed and we're done, then we'll need to stay silent for about 30, 40 seconds as well. We'll give an all clear signal in the chat, and we'll talk about that chat in a minute. And then Brant will give an all clear signal as well. Couple of things else to note is, thank you, Lauren, this is the chat. If everyone can pull up the yeah, man, it's been a morning. The Zoom group chat. Yeah, thanks, Brant. I need encouragement too today. The Zoom group chat, we will be communicating internally between all of us in there. So if you have something you want to add to a particular part of the discussion or such, then you can make that noted in there and Brant will see that and then call on you. We're also asking for comments and questions in our various social media and website platforms as well. So Brant will be monitoring those and asking questions from Facebook chat and things like that as we go throughout the stream. Anyone that's not on the stream today, as I have listed, just make sure your video is off and you are muted throughout so that we don't have people hopping in and out and all that jazz. Because these Zoom will pick up whoever's speaking and throw them to our director to have on the screen. So without further ado, we'll do a quick mic check for everyone. I'll start with Sarah. Can I just get a sentence from you, please, ma'am?
Can everybody hear me?
Wonderful, thank you. Coming through good. Jamie, can I get a quick sentence out of you?
Hey, this is Jamie.
Thank you. Caitlin.
Hi, this is Caitlin.
Wonderful, thank you. Hunter.
Hello, how is everybody?
Fantastic, thank you, sir. And Angela.
Good morning, everyone.
Perfect. Okay, I think we've got everybody. A good little mic check there. So you guys can go on about your business. I'll hop back in here in about 5 or 6 minutes to have you all pipe down while we wait. So thank you everyone for joining us today.
Ethan. Jamie, can I also have you bring your camera down a little bit, get your head a little closer to the top? There we go. Yes, much gooder. I'm Lauren Brannick. I'm the digital sales manager at the station as well. Mainly here for emotional support for Ethan and Brant and all of you. You will hear me mostly, or not hear me, read me in the group chat, just letting you guys know of, anything that might be coming up. I don't think Ethan really touched on, you guys can stay muted if you would like. Again, the way that Zoom operates is that whoever's talking is the one who will be put up onto the television screen, if you will, or the computer screen, wherever someone's viewing us. So if you're making a lot of noise or anything, we mute you, and you just need to make sure that you're unmuting yourself when you want to talk. Otherwise, what ends up happening is that really awkward conference call where somebody talk or Brant has specifically said, hey, Hunter, what do you have to say about that? Hunter's muted, and then, yeah, exactly what Brant's doing. So just make sure that we're keeping an eye on the mute button and unmute ourselves when we need to. Okay.
So yeah, you guys will, this will be fun. It'll be easy because what we're going to do is, if you want to think of this as like, you guys are on a cruise ship, I'm just the captain. You guys are the ones who are having all the fun, but hey, we have we have dancing going on at 8 p.m. Make sure you're there for 8 p.m. And I will direct the events as they go through. And if I'll make sure I go through each person, make sure they have like an introduction, and if we bring up a certain topic and someone raises their hand per se in the chat or says, hey, I have something to add to that, then I will put that on my queue, and then I will bring you up so that you can add a point to the conversation or anything like that. So there's no pressure on anyone else to try and lead this boat. That has all been thrown upon me, and that is fine. I've accepted the responsibility of captain, and I take it so seriously. So we're gonna do a great job with this.
So do you not want us to jump in unless we chat and are called on?
Yes, in a way, because what will happen is every time someone's brought up on the screen, our control room has to bring up the information in CG at the bottom and say, this is who is talking. So if I'm talking and then all of a sudden you're like, well, wait, I have something I want to say. And then you come up at the bottom of the screen, you'll say, Brant Beckman, meteorologist.
Yeah.
And you pull up and be
Okay.
like, Brant looks different the last time than I saw him. So,
Yeah. So the chat works really good for that. So you just put in the chat, hey, I want to jump in on this too, something like that.
Okay.
And,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, can we bring you? Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I have a stack of books under my computer that we're starting to
me
ship.
too.
Works great. I'm actually camping in Pierre, you guys, and I didn't have good reception in my camper. And so I asked the person that owns the campground, and she's like, let me come to her house. And so she's not even here, and I don't know her, and I'm just in her basement.
Only in South Dakota.
I know, nice people in Pierre, I gotta say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. So.
And I will say, you guys, that what Brant described sounds a little bit awkward, but it really isn't. It actually ends up being a very lovely conversation, if you will.
It's very free flowing. There's no script to stick to. This is a free flowing conversation. If a question happens to come up that's out of the blue, then we just go right into it. We're looking for a very authentic, real conversation about some of these issues. That's the reason why we're gathered here. So, and we've had a lot of success with that. It's been awesome. You could ask Jamie. This is what maybe our 8th or 9th time doing this, Jamie?
Probably, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I lost count.
I know. And just as a reminder, I'm sure you're on it, but if any questions come in that go towards the school's opening issue,
yes,
you're clear.
It's like after the board meeting last night, the study session that introduced it, I feel like that might be a hot topic.
Yeah, but that's not what this is about.
You can find all that information on the 3-hour discussion we have posted on our website. You can go right to it.
Hey,
There you go.
It is my turn to interject again. So sorry, everyone. It is time to go silent. So Brant, if you would make a small amount of noise just so your fine face is on the screen here for me.
Check.
We will lay down. Thanks.
Check. Of course, now I have the squeakiest chair in the world. All right, folks, we are back with another United Way It Can Be End panel to talk about, well, the last couple of weeks we talked about a lot of different topics, but this week we're going to be talking about youth mental health, which is something that is obviously on a lot of people's minds as we approach the fall season here. Not to get ahead of myself as far as weather is concerned. I think we got plenty of sunny days ahead, not to scare anyone, but we are looking at getting close to this fall season here. So we have a wonderful panel put together. I wanted to introduce one by one the folks that we have here and just a quick summary of your title and what we're going to be talking about a little bit. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to start with Jamie.
Hi, this is Jamie Tennis, Executive Director for United Way of the Black Hills. Mental health is one of the issues that we are really focused in on. So we're really excited to bring this panel to you.
Perfect. And Sarah, we'll go ahead and get your introduction.
Hi, I'm Sarah Zimmerman, and I'm the Social Emotional Education Coordinator with Rapid City Schools. And a couple things I do is I coordinate our suicide prevention for the district and our social work services and crisis response within the district.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And we'll go straight to Angela.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Angela Roberts. I'm with Youth and Family Services, and I am a community and youth engagement coordinator for a program called Connect. And my job is essentially to connect youth with resources if they've been affected by violence of any type.
Angela, thank you. We have two panelists who are on the front lines themselves doing work. Let's start with Hunter.
Hello, everybody. I am Hunter Herzog. I am a senior at Stevens High School. I'm a member of the Youth City Council, and I am a co-lead of the mental health committee that branches off of the Youth City Council.
Hunter, thank you. And Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Wellman. I'm a sophomore at Stevens High School, and I am a member of the Youth City Council and also a co-leader of the Youth City Council's Mental Health Committee.
Awesome. Caitlin, thank you so much. So obviously we have an excellent panel put together with all these different perspectives, and we're going to hit this home today and talk a little bit about, you know, how this has evolved over the last couple of months. Obviously, this has been an interesting time as we went through the late spring, coming now through the summer and now going into the early fall. And what I want to do is, Sarah, I want to start with you. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you've come face to face with, and kind of how we're working through that right now?
There's been a lot of challenges over the past few months with us, even just going to remote learning. That was such a challenge for when I think about district staff, for teachers, for counselors, for social workers, but for our students too, to just be abruptly put into distance learning and trying to navigate that. And so it really was, it was a huge shift and a huge crisis. And I think it really played a toll over time and causing that stress for students, staff, for everybody's mental well-being, as we all kind of jumped to trying to figure out, how do we do what we've been doing from a remote setting, and how do we continue to provide support and also try to help kids learn in that type of environment? So it has been pretty tricky over the past several months.
And you bring up a lot of good points. I mean, of course, if you're going to hear from the state level and whatnot, you hear, well, falling behind on math, and got to make sure we got to get kids caught up on science. But a lot of what I'm thinking about, and I'm sure this is on everyone's mind, is, what got me up in the morning when I was going to school is the fact that I'd be seeing my friends, having that social interaction, and not having that, how much that would bum me out, period. So there's a lot of that going along with it as well. I think half of the importance of going to school is being able to socialize and interact. I'm getting a lot of nods from that. Angela, I want to go to you and kind of talk about, some of the challenges that you've seen as well, and what we're kind of looking at moving forward here?
Yeah, thank you. I just, the best way to put it, in my opinion, is we're just going through so much trauma right now. And our youth are, especially, like Sarah was saying, our youth are especially affected because, as you were saying, the way that they learn is with their peers, and the way that they interact with their peers really sets them up for success in the future. And not being able to do that right now is extremely tough on them. So I think we need to come together as a community to make sure that they're getting the support that they're needing in the future, because there are some really great resources in the community. Just ensuring, and like Caitlin and Hunter are here, they understand that mental wellness is extremely important right now, and we've got to figure out a way to achieve that when we're not being next to each other and when we're not socially with each other.
So those are important points. I actually want to go directly to the source here. Hunter, you've probably heard people talk about, well, this is what we got to do, and what about our kids and whatnot. But you're sitting there going through this. What are some of the challenges that you have kind of encountered? Obviously, you are now on the council at at Rapid City. At the Rapid City Schools. So, what are you seeing, and what's kind of been your experience so far? What's been some of the challenges?
It's been hard for the youth, especially because a lot of the kids want to go out. They want to experience life while they still can. And so being cooped up, it's not something they enjoy very much. They miss their friends. I miss my friends. It's been a tough experience for everybody. And then it's also hard to really rally everybody up like we want to right now when everybody's so separated and isolated. So we can't really it's hard to get the community interaction when everybody's just so down right now.
And that's a really interesting point. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking to myself, yes, I'm sure you and Caitlin are like, yeah, we're kind of missing out on the math and the science and the things that we really need. But I feel like there's this almost anxiety of, oh my gosh, I'm 15, I'm 16, I'm supposed to be experiencing all these things, and now I feel like I'm missing out. Now I got to play catch up, and what am I doing here? And how am I going to make up for this? And I don't know. Is there any of that kind of anxiety there? I would imagine that'd be something that maybe has come up in conversations.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a rush when you're a kid to kind of really experience life as much as you can. And right now, especially, that's hard to do because you can't really do anything right now.
And Caitlin, I'll ask you as well. You're a sophomore now, so how are you coping with some of these mechanisms? And from what you've talked to friends with, what have been some of the struggles that you've noticed with your friends and other students?
I think a lot of what I'm hearing, and I feel this too, is we don't realize how much we miss the people that we don't even know. Just being around a bunch of people our age we didn't realize, I think, that we would miss that as much as we do.
Yeah, it clearly has an effect on your mood, I would suppose, when you get up in the morning. I remember that was my least favorite part of the day, was having to swing my legs around the bed and get up, maybe, get some good clothes and walk out the door. But I knew I'd see my friends later on in the day. And now with that element missing, I guess there's that challenge now of trying to keep people upbeat about, school activities, about trying to connect remotely. And I guess in this case, Jamie, I'll kind of pass this on to you. Why is it important to focus on youth mental health, especially right now during the pandemic? It seems like a pretty easy question, but it's good to put it out in the open here.
Yeah, mental health was already a huge issue in our community. We did our community needs assessment for the Black Hills last year. Mental health was the #1 issue in every single community in the Black Hills. when we did that. So it was already a challenge, an issue that we knew needed to be addressed. And then, like so many other things with the pandemic, it has just exacerbated that. And so, you know, it's really important that we look at how we can support our community and work with our partners. And luckily, we have such a great collaborative community that was already doing a lot of work. You know, the work that Sarah and Angela are doing, the youth council, that had already been developed. That wasn't a response to the pandemic. So we already had some foundations of some things going. And it's just a matter of, you know, what can we do to elevate that work, to take it to the next level, because the pandemic has just brought a whole nother level of stress and, like Angela said, trauma onto everybody in our community, but especially our kids who are missing out on some of those experiences. So yeah, it's an issue, but together we have some things that we're all doing. I'm excited. Caitlin and Hunter are doing a lot of cool work with the council that they're going to talk about.
Yeah, Hunter, I'll go straight to you. Tell me a little bit about some of the different things that you guys are doing and some things that you're trying out to kind of alleviate this.
We have made a few committees to try and reach out to the community a little bit more. So far, we're still working on progress with them. Not much has been done in response to the pandemic itself. We talked to the school a little bit about when online schooling was still going on. We talked to them about how it could make it easier for the students, because I knew a lot of students were struggling with that. Yeah, not much else. It's been kind of a slow trickle because the pandemic has stopped a lot of council work too.
Yeah, I imagine it's kind of difficult to get these committees together and get the ball rolling when it's difficult to even meet in person for these kind of things. So I can see how that would be a challenge. Caitlin, I wanted you to talk about a little bit about, you guys have a podcast that you guys are kind of putting together, or is going. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of the projects that we've started as the mental health committee is we've began putting together a podcast based around different topics for youth mental health.
Well, that's awesome. So what are some of the subjects that you guys anticipate you'll talk about, or maybe have already come up with ideas about as far as that podcast?
So we plan our first show to air on the 20th, and we're planning its topic to be anxiety and social anxiety. And we do have some topics.
So in that case, yeah, social anxiety, even you can have, I guess, both ends of that, where you have folks who don't like large crowds. Believe it or not, I'm someone who doesn't like large crowds. If I'm in a TV studio, it's just me and the camera. But you also have the opposite effect, where if someone is not constantly around social interaction, it can be very stressful. And that's like my sister. So that's actually really helpful. I'm glad to know that there is a podcast. You said it's going to start on the 20th.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are doing that. I wanted to kind of send things over to Angela here. I wanted to ask, what are some of the positive things that we're developing moving forward here that try and help with youth mental health?
Well, I mean, I think Hunter and Caitlin are on the right track. I think talking to youth is extremely important. And, just setting these podcasts up so that the teens and the youth in the community will have an opportunity to discuss their social anxieties and their concerns about the pandemic and how they're feeling. That opens up such a great avenue for our youth to get talking about mental wellness. So they've done a fantastic job with that. And I know so many partners in the community, we are meeting together regularly to try and figure out, what is it that we need to do? Because I know a lot of people are zoomed out. And I know that a lot of people crave that interaction with each other. So we are you know, as a community and as professionals in the mental health field, we're doing our best and trying to figure out how it is that we are going to best serve our youth, and you know, being able to provide resources. I know YFS is doing some Zoom stuff, which is not always super fun, but they are also incorporating things outside where, you know, you can follow the guidelines of socially distancing yourselves, and just trying to keep updated with each other, I think is the best solution for this at this point, and just continuing to be flexible with each other and working as a community.
Angela, thank you. Those are some great points. And actually, I wanted to turn this to Sarah here. We have a question from Noah from the Facebook comments section. We are live streaming this right now. And he was saying, if you have a friend or a loved one that is struggling with mental health issues during this particular time, what are your top suggestions on how to react and how to help them through that situation?
First of all, I think it's always about conversation and coming together and talking with somebody, whether that's face-to-face or over the phone. I think historically there's been such a stigma around mental health and talking about mental health. If you see those warning signs that somebody is struggling, connect with them, talk to them, tell them you're concerned, because that's a huge thing. If we're struggling with mental health, one of a protective factor for not having symptoms that get too severe is having people that are connected to you and those stable, secure relationships. So if you notice those signs and symptoms, if you see your friend struggling, talk with them, come alongside them and help them get connected with resources. There's tons of resources in our community, and I have been completely impressed with how our community has adapted and figured out ways to continue to support community members despite our limitations, whether it's through Zoom or limiting the amount of people that can come into an office at one time, but they've really got creative. And so helping your friend get hooked up with services and continuing to just be there and show that you care.
And Jamie, I saw you brought up a really great point. I want you to spearhead that.
Yeah, you know, one of the things for any needs, be it mental health, food, childcare, you know, so many different topics, 211 Helpline Center is always a great starting point to reach out to them if you are experiencing anything. They've got the mental health resource guide available online or when you call that has all of the different providers that are providing resources. They also have that new program 605 Strong, which provides some support for COVID. People have been impacted by COVID specifically. So that's always a great starting point for this type of, anytime you're struggling with anything.
Hunter, I want to ask you, with your peers, what have you noticed have been their anxieties about this coming fall? If they have, you know, what that list may look like, you know, is it not, I know we've kind of touched upon not seeing friends. You know, is there anything I haven't mentioned? Maybe something that some of us would miss about what you guys are struggling with as we approach the new school year?
I feel like it's just not going to be the same experience that I'm used to as I go back to school. And that worries me, because I was one who always used to really like the social interaction of school. I liked going there, seeing my teachers and everybody. And as the next school year comes, I feel like so many things are going to change that it's just going to be overwhelming once I get there.
And Caitlin, same with you. You know, how would you describe that?
One thing I found amongst my friends is a lot of their worries are their grades too. Is some of them didn't do very well with the online schooling, and I didn't do super well with it either. And a lot of them are feeling anxiety about that.
Yeah, you kind of get zoomed out. I like the term, and in fact is becoming a very widespread known term at this point, is zoomed out. There's something mentally taxing that you, after meeting after meeting after meeting of doing kind of the virtual stuff, that just is not the same. I'm sure teachers would say that as well, is that there's struggles there when trying to communicate ideas. Like me, you can see I'm using my hands to talk a lot. I do that because, I that's how I communicate. And so if I'm a teacher and I'm trying to show a map or trying to show a visual concept, I mean, that could be really hard for you guys to pick up on unless there's a lot of extra work that's put forward. At least that's what I would imagine that struggle would look like. Am I kind of hitting the ballpark a little bit, Caitlin?
Yeah. Yeah, for a lot of people, it's tougher over online because even just hearing the people in person or hearing what your other classmates have to say.
That's an interesting concept too, because now you're theoretically learning by yourself. You don't have all these people around you kind of watching the same thing. They are, but it doesn't feel like that. So I can understand why that would be a struggle there. So I wanted to bring things back to Sarah real quick. So what are some of the game plans or what theoretical game plans do we have put in place as far as mental health services moving forward into this fall, regardless of what the situation looks like? Mental health needs are probably going to be the same. What does that look like moving forward? And what would your suggestion for folks be?
So within the school district, we have a whole team of school counselors that are working hard to get prepared so that they can provide support to students. We've got social workers in about a third of our buildings who will continue to provide support. As far as what that looks like specifically, we're going to wait until the final plans come out so that we can really tailor the interventions that will be needed. But I would anticipate really trying to identify early on kids that are struggling so that we can be proactive in reaching out to them, touching base with them, and getting them hooked up with services if they need that.
And Angela, I guess along those same lines, as far as a framework of what the fall may look like, what do you anticipate that looking like? And as far as, basically what that game plan looks like.
So for YFS, our counseling center is still working diligently to get youth served. They are doing assessments online and rather than in person, but our agency is gradually opening with minimal people in the building. We do boys health online, so they'll play games with youth and teens online so they can just have that interaction with each other. And then the program that I'm working on, I've been working closely with some people in the community to get that started, whether it be in, out in the open or outdoors, things like that. But really just being able to receive a phone call from any youth to just try and set them up with the appropriate resources is really what I'm aiming for right now.
So that also brings up another good point, because Hunter and Caitlin, you guys, you guys are the ones that are going through this process, firsthand. And if you guys had any requests of the adult community and what we could do as a community to help you guys out better, what would that be? Or are things going on the right track, do you think, at this point?
I think my biggest thing is just availability to help and to talk, just if we need it with anything, because we really look up to you guys, because you're the ones who've done this already and we're still trying to figure it out. So as long as you're there for us, that's just all that I need.
And Caitlin, I see you nodding your head as well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good point. I don't have too much else to add to that.
Hunter's a good speaker. He's very well spoken. So what, Caitlin, I'll ask you though, how can youth get involved with helping other youth in mental health services? How can they start getting involved in that?
So one way, we, in our mental health committee, we do allow anybody to join, not just Youth City Council members. And I believe we do have information on how to join that. And then we have our podcasts and you can tune into that. Other than that, you just talk, make sure to talk to each other, and try and support each other as youth.
Boy, isn't that a common theme? Communication was like everything. It's like, well, just make sure you're communicating with each other. And just, if you have a bad day, don't feel like you shouldn't talk about it because you don't want to ruin someone else's day, because they might have had a bad day too and they want to talk about it. Yeah, Hunter's like, yeah, no, exactly. So that's actually a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Caitlin. So what I want to do is give people kind of a last minute as far as what is our final goal here. Let's assume that the pandemic is not even a thing. Youth mental health was a major issue before the pandemic. What are the goals looking forward after we are implementing all these goals and striving for them? And what does that look like? Angela, I'll let you lead things off.
I just wanted to start with, a couple of us have talked about the stigma that follows, mental health, and just understanding that it's okay not to be okay right now, because I don't think any of us are okay. And some days are going to be a lot more difficult than other days. And those are the days that it's important to reach out to each other. And it's important to, find either a peer that you can talk to or an adult that you can talk to that you trust, and finding what your thing is. So, I'll just go with what I know. I love to just get outside and mess around in the dirt and plant flowers or whatever. That's my thing. And when I feel that I just need to get away for a second and refocus, that'll be my thing. But just really understanding and engaging when it's time to talk to somebody and when it's time to, find the resource that you need.
That's really important stuff. Sarah, I'll let you add to that as well, as far as, some last minute thoughts on that.
Yeah, Angela, I think you said it really well, though. Just recognizing and acknowledging that to whatever extent, this has been a struggle for us all. One thing I think is important to highlight, we've talked about community resources, and we really have amazing resources in this community. But I also wanted to say, when we talk about mental health and we're struggling with mental health, definitely there's things you can do on your own at home to help yourself feel better. If you're purposeful about it, you recognize when maybe you're having a down day. Like Angela said, find your thing and be purposeful about doing that, whether it's connecting socially, getting creative about how you can connect socially with friends if it's not face-to-face, whether it's an activity, exercise, but there's things that you can do that help you feel a little bit more in control if you can do something to help yourself feel better while you're at home.
Jamie, I'll let you add to that. There's some really good ideas here, but just some last minute thoughts.
Yeah, I think everybody on the panel is really covered. It's about caring for one another and checking in and just making sure we're all okay. That neighborly approach of just caring for thy neighbor, and knowing, like Sarah said, there is a lot of resources available in our community. There was a lot that we were working on before the pandemic around mental health and youth mental health, and that work's going to continue. There's a great collaborative of all of the youth providers really in our community, and the schools and the hospital and everybody, who are all meeting regularly to really address this issue on a systems level, as well as the individual programs that are happening. And so we do live in an amazing community who really is looking at how we can tackle this issue. And so, it's all levels. It's at the system, it's at programs, it's at individual levels of taking care of ourselves. But yeah, great things are happening, and we're just going to continue to care for one another.
Caitlin, I wanted you to talk about again, because I think it's important. If you're wanting to get involved with youth mental health services, you don't, at the school, you don't have to be a part of the council to do that. You can just go through you guys and talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get our word out so that people know that we're there. We are trying to go through the schools a little bit. I think it's good to let people know that we're here and that they can join and get involved themselves with youth mental health to do what they can to help out.
Yeah. Is there a email or a phone number they could contact, or like a Facebook group they can go through to inquire about that?
There is.
Yep.
We have a Rapid City Youth City Council has a website, and that's rcycc.com. And then I believe we have one number that you can reach, and she'll give you information.
Let's see, I think I saw the number pop up just a second here. Oh, okay. So that number looks like it's going to be 605-310-4400. Once again, 605-310-4400. And then rcycc.com is the application for the Youth City Council if people are curious about that. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate everyone coming together and spending the time this afternoon to talk about this. Caitlin, Hunter, you have no idea how much your input is like a gold mine for folks making decisions, trying to figure out what's going to work best. So you have to believe that what you're saying and that we're hearing that, and that really when it comes down to it, we want your mental health well-being and your colleagues and your peers to be well. And we want to make sure that that is heard. So we can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming on and talking with us about that, because it's critically important. Jamie and I and Sarah and Angela could hold these Zoom sessions until we're blue in the face, but having you guys come on here and talk about this is everyone's nodding their heads. It's like that is what we need. And so keep fighting a good fight. Caitlin, we are going to get the word out, so don't worry about that. Make sure to go to nc1.tv. We're going to have information about this on there as well. And I'm sure Jamie will have resources posted as well. So we're going to go ahead and put things on hold there. But this is just the beginning of a discussion, not the end. Make sure to continue to comment in the Facebook comment section, and we'll be sure to answer those questions. And we're also going to be talking more about this over the next coming weeks. There are a lot of people talking about it now. So we're going to be looking forward to that. Thanks everyone for joining, and make sure to have a safe weekend. Nice. We're clear. Good job, everyone.
Awesome.
That was wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I hope
Thank
you had
you.
fun.
I was glad to be here.
Yeah, no, that was,
Caitlin, I just want to say what pillars of our youth community you are. And thank you so much for being brave enough to do this and to speak for your peers.
yeah, couldn't say it any better myself.
Yeah.
That's-
Good job, you guys. I would have been freaked out as a high schooler. Like, I don't know if I could have handled it. I'd have been like, ah, but good job. You both did wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You give me hope for our future, which is fantastic.
Yes, you have a well-deserved weekend coming up for sure. Absolutely. That's what you guys are doing is so, and this isn't for the cameras anymore. What you guys are doing is so important. It really, no, what you guys do is so important. And I think everyone, the community wants to help out folks during the pandemic, but I think there's a lot of folks out there who also have a lot of anxiety about, oh my God, what about kids? What about folks that are trying to go through school? And that's what a lot of the anxiety is about. I'll take care of myself. Jamie will take care of herself, but we want to make sure you guys are doing good too. So the more that you speak out, the more that really helps everyone. So you guys are doing good work. Don't stop.
And let's
Thank
be honest, kids will listen to you guys. I mean, more than adults can say it, but when it's coming straight from peers, like kids are going to listen. So,
But I'm cool.
I mean,
Listen to
yeah.
me. I'm cool.